Testing is an important part of the design thinking process, and it should happen consistently at different stages. Test phase is strictly connected with the prototype phase. Prototypes are often tried out by users to see how well they work. So it is crucial to keep making prototypes, starting with basic version and moving on to more advanced one, and then testing them with users. This process of testing and trying out ideas and models helps you to understand users better and to get useful feedback to improve your design. As we already said, but you have to keep it in your mind because it is really important, design thinking is an iterative process, and the test phase, it is crucial for the next loop. Testing is not connected only with the prototype phase, but also with the empathize, because you will have a better understanding of your users, and to the define phase, because maybe you will discover that the problem you want to solve is not the right one. Or again, it could trigger new ideas to address user problems, and in the end, makes your prototype better. When you conduct a test, it might help you to put the data into general metrics that you created to conduct all the tests, so you can compare them all together. But be careful, the data must not only be analyzed as a whole, but also individually. When you created your user persona, you define an ideal user for your project. But sometimes your user may be not so accurate. For example, if you are conducting the test on your ideal user, who is a 30-year-old woman who owns a pet, analyzing the data overall, you might discover that every user you are conducting the test on goes out to buy food for their pet at least once a week. But analyzing in details, you might discover that those who own large dogs buy food once a week, but buy 3 times as much. Therefore, the data must be analyzed both as a whole, but also in details. I also recommend defining how many minimum tests you will have to carry out and defining a minimum parameter to decide whether your test was successful or not. For example, the new feature must be positively evaluated by at least 12 out of 15 people. It is really important to conduct the tests in a good way, otherwise it could generate a wrong response or scenarios that puts you in the wrong direction. In general, when we conduct interviews or ask people about our ideas, we tend to interrupt them, tell them that they have misunderstood the features, or explain how it works. This is because you are proud of what you create and the idea that you had. But there is nothing worse than this. Remember that you are trying to solve a problem, not to force people use your solution. There are a series of rules to respect when conducting a test to avoid falsifying it. First of all, you have to take notes or recording the test you are conducting. And also it could help create a matrix to insert the data of the test in order to analyze it when the test is over. Then you have to show, don't tell. Let your user experience the prototype. Avoid over-explaining how your prototype works or how it is supposed to solve your user's problem. Let the user's experience in using the prototype speak for itself and observe their reaction. Ask participants to talk through their experience. Let them know that they should think out loud and speak what's on their mind during the entire test session. Observe your participant use your prototype and resist the urge to correct them when they misinterpret how it is supposed to be used. Ask follow-up questions. Questions such as, what do you mean when you say that? How did that make you feel? What did you expect would happen? And most importantly, why? Feedback and negative feedback. Negative feedback is your way to learn and improve. When you test your ideas and prototypes, remember that negative feedback is an important way to learn and improve. You will uncover problems that you and your team might not have even considered.